This is what happens when your bullshit backfires. For this silly story, we need to go back in time. What is it? 2, maybe 3 weeks back in time. And we need to entertain the top fantasist online who represents spherical wobbling balls in a vacuum. So we're over at Scimandan's channel. Was it 2, 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, this silliness began. Where a video came out titled Flat Earthers Will Never Touch This Video. And one person specifically was mentioned in the video. Me. Dan had cited a Hollywood movie, a sci-fi movie, as proof that demonstrable reality was wrong. Crazy, I know. But quite happy to entertain Dan's silliness, seeing as there was so much bravado around it. I said to him, like I have been doing for the last 12 months, highlight to your viewers the fact I'm a demonstrable realist and not a flat earther. I don't use the words flat earth because it's a loaded term and comes with a hell of a lot of baggage, which is misrepresentations, and I don't stand by those things. I only stand by scientific demonstrations we can test and verify for ourselves. So inform your viewers of what actually my claims are and highlight the fact I'm not willing to accept propagandized loaded terms which aren't my claims, which you've been using, Dan, for years now. Correct yourself and I'll entertain your sci-fi movie. Dan, in all his bravado and delusion, attempted to do just that. You would have thought, mind, it would be quite simple, just highlighting someone's claims, a man who stands by scientific demonstrations we can test and verify for ourselves, a man that doesn't deny the way reality presents itself to us. No, a demonstrable realist. You would have thought that was easy, coming from the top boy who represents the globe online. No. As we can see, Dan's first correction video here, me making an important correction, demonstrable realist, where Dan attempted to highlight my simplistic claims, demonstrable reality. The problem is this top man who doesn't know whether he's coming or going, a man that makes Scooby-Doo look like a genius. Dan couldn't even get his correction video right. So he had to do a correction video of his correction to correct his original misrepresentations, which were propagandized tosh. He relies on all that garbage to make his bullshit work because he's got no science. The problem is, though, finally he did correct his corrections that were corrections of misrepresentations. So silly. And when I finally did get round to entertaining the silly sci-fi movie, bizarrely enough that was cited as proof that demonstrable reality was wrong, it didn't take long to see a problem. I'd only seen sporadic bits as I was pottering around doing things. I'd heard it all, but only seen probably 15 minutes or so. And just in those 15 minutes, I saw a problem, a flaw, where a man's fingers appeared to go through solid metal. Again, another issue regarding special effects. Remember, this was cited as flawless, a masterpiece. Bizarrely enough, they cited a Hollywood film as proof that reality is wrong. I mean, that's deluding in itself. And yet, when you looked at the film, it was anything but flawless. It was ridiculous and just the usual tosh. And of course, you're bound to get a knee-jerk reaction from the globe's top boy because of that. His propaganda and his silly game plan not only backfired, of course he had to highlight to his viewers a demonstrable realist now, so his propaganda and bullshit's not going to work in the future. I thought it'd be very interesting to see when Dan gets round with his knee-jerk pantomime response and actually react to the fact that his sci-fi movie just ain't cutting it. I thought it'd be very interesting to see how Dan words and goes about his defense of his delusion, given so many corrections and the fact he knows now that I'm a demonstrable realist. Surely he won't go back to using misrepresentations, propagandized terms to his viewers, and highlights the fact he's just a hypocrite, a dishonest hypocrite. Surely not. We come to today and we get the video. Flat Earther paints himself into a corner. Oh dear. The only person who's painted themselves into a corner is you, Danny boy. You're so confused and so dishonest, you don't know whether you're coming or going. You're back to now misrepresenting and having to use propagandized terms. And bizarrely enough, you claim you've totally ended the space is fake argument by citing some flawed footage, a Hollywood movie that was still flawed, as evidence that demonstrable reality was wrong. Crazy stuff. And the fact it's out there for your viewers to see, you're back to misrepresenting me. Literally a week after you were correcting your corrections of your misrepresentations, shows us all there's something not quite right there, Dan, in your head and your heart. Either the money has corrupted you so much that you don't understand the psychology at play that goes on in your head, that you're willing to entertain dishonesty on a daily basis, or you're blatantly at it. Either way, mate, you've made an absolute fool of yourself here, bud. In front of your viewers, it's all there for everyone to see. I don't care about the deluded ones. Anyone with the slightest bit of sense is going to see through your bullshit. And of course, you're back to misrepresenting. Another bad move, but I love it. I've had several people recently come over from your channel highlight that they were originally your subs, that they've now seen the error of their ways. They would have never heard of the Level Earth Observer channel and demonstrable reality, the real take on things, if they hadn't come to my channel expecting to have a laugh at the propaganda and the misrepresentations. Do you see what you've done, Dan? You've exposed the globe and yourself, and the methods you use and the dishonesty that resides in your heart. Most of this is to do with psychology. People act on knee-jerk reactions, and when people are triggered, they make anything but sensible decisions. And of course, Dan is a prime example of that with his video out today in relation to what's gone on the last few weeks. So easy dealing with these individuals when you have the truth on your side, you have no bias in your heart, and you won't be swayed. You can't gaslight me. You can send hundreds of trolls over. It's like water off a duck's back. You're never going to gaslight me because I stand by science and be tested and verified by all. Dear, oh dear.